What are you doing on Tuesday the 26th of September 2023? Because myself and Francesca Amber are coming to the Barbican Hall in London. Our event is called One Night Stand, and this one night event is all going to be about manifestation, crystal healing, and ridding your limiting beliefs to help you achieve your goals. We've curated an immersive experience that will leave you feeling inspired and empowered. Throughout the evening as well, we'll also have interactive exercises, we'll have empowering discussions, and the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals on a similar journey towards personal growth and manifestation. There'll even be an opportunity for you to ask questions as well. This event is your chance to break free from the shackles of self-doubt and unleash your inner greatness. It's time to release those limiting beliefs that might be holding you back and step into your true potential. And if you want to come on your own, by all means do that. Single tickets are available and seating is totally unreserved, so you can even meet up with your spiritual friends and sit with them as well. Head to @CannyCrystals on Instagram and click the link in my bio. Tickets are limited, so secure your spot and be part of this transformative experience. Don't miss out on the chance to manifest your dreams and achieve your goals. We can't wait to see you there. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Canny Crystals, the podcast. As you probably know by now, my name is Mark Tweedy. I am your host, and this week I have had some amazing manifestations come to fruition, and I just thought I'm going to base my entire episode around this because I can't believe that there's two things in particular that I want to discuss with you. And I can't believe how they've actually happened. And you might have seen one of them already on Instagram, but I haven't really spoke about the other one. And they are massive things. They're not just I manifested £100 on a lottery win or something like that. These are huge, huge things. So if I take it back a couple of weeks ago, as you know, I went to Beyonce. And my local radio station, Metro Radio, were running a competition for the 2 weeks up to that, okay? And they were running a competition called What Did Beyonce? What Did Beyonce? Do you get it? And basically, they were going to play you on the lead up to this, 2 weeks prior to the concert. In honor of Beyonce coming to the Northeast, they were going to send you to Los Angeles. And while you were on Los Angeles, you got to go on this River Mexicana cruise. So obviously, I was like, I'm going to win this because Beyonce is my bitch. And yeah, I just had this feeling that I was going to win this holiday with this cruise, and we're going to go away and relax. And like I say, I haven't had a proper holiday since 2018. So I was just visualizing this. And what you had to do is every single day, Steve and Karen, the hosts of Metro Radio in the Northeast, big shout out if they listened, probably not, but they basically played you 1 to 2 words of something that Beyonce had said. And you had to write it down, and you had to get all 12 of them and put them in the right order, basically. And it was taken from a Beyonce interview from back in the archives, back in the day. And you had to just repeat what Beyonce had said in the correct order. And like I say, you won this trip to LA and this cruise and everything. It was all expenses paid. So there I was, as you can imagine, like bloody Vera or Miss Marple. And I had all these sticky notes on me wall. And I remember Jade coming in one day and being like, what's that? And I was like, it's the Beyonce competition. And she just looked at it as if I was some weirdo. But anyway, I had them all stuck on my wall. And I knew exactly, because one of the words was Glastonbury. And I was like, I know which interview this is. And I went on YouTube and I found the interview 2 days before the competition finished. And I was like, oh my God, I know what the last 2 words are anyway. So me being the idiot I am, I rang up to see if I could win. And they were like, well, no, you've got to wait until we've announced the whole thing. And I was like, but I know which interview it's from. And they were like, okay, but you've still got to wait and give everyone else opportunity. So anyway, cut to the day of the Beyonce concert. I woke up at 6 a.m. because Steve and Karen's breakfast show starts at 6 a.m. And they said that they would play the last clip of the interview and open the phone lines for people to enter, but any time between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Okay? So I went downstairs 6 a.m. and I put the radio on my phone, just through the web player kind of thing. And I was listening away. and I went in the kitchen to make my breakfast. And then when I went to go in the shower, I don't like taking my phone in the shower, so I asked my Sonos speaker, that was like Alexa, play Metro Radio. And when it started playing, it was about 10 seconds behind the one on my phone. So I was like, oh. So I opened it on my laptop, which was about 30 seconds ahead of both of them. So I was like, oh my God, this is because it's digital. Digital radio there's always like a bit of a delay. So I waited until the 7 o'clock news came on, and dot on the 7 o'clock news, I was like, why isn't the news on? It started playing on one of the devices, but it was still delayed on the others. And I was like, there is a delay here. Which one of these is the quickest? Which one of these is like going to play the clip first so that I can ring in? Because obviously I wanted the best opportunity for myself. And then I had a thought. FM radio, like standard radio that you can listen to in your car, for example. When I went out to my car, I turned on the FM radio. That was a good minute and 15 seconds ahead of everything else. So I was like, oh, hell with this. I'm going to take my laptop, my coffee, and I'm going to go and work in my car for the morning. Well, you can imagine, I live on a little cul-de-sac, and everyone was getting up, going to work, like looking at us as if they're like, why is he sat in his car for like the last 2 hours or so? Just literally like with a cup of coffee and his laptop working from his car. And my new car keeps on turning the bloody engine off every 5 minutes because it thinks, well, you're not going anywhere. And I didn't want to put it on and just waste petrol. So there I am, sat in my car. They opened the competition at 9:45. So I've been sat in my car for 2 hours 45. Now, as you can imagine, that is dedication. That is absolute dedication. Beyonce apparently was walking around Roca, where near the Stadium of Light where she was playing. She'd apparently gone on the beach for a little dip. Normally, on a normal day, I would have like shot over there and I would have been straight onto that beach to see if I could have got a photo with her. But I was dedicated to the cause, and I thought, chances they'll play this bloody clip while I'm driving and I won't be able to enter. So I just said to Johnny, look, I want your phone as well. So as soon as I text, quickly run out to the car, ring this number and just meet me in the car. So he was like, okay. So prior to this, just to give you a bit of background, the whole time they've been running this, I was imagining myself. I was lay on my bed, okay, but I opened the blinds in my bedroom so that the sun was literally beaming onto my skin, and I was imagining myself on the top deck of some little cruise ship, you know, with the sun beating down. I even started putting on like seagull noises and sea noises and like chatter and things like that. So I could really, really get into that mindset of me being on this cruise and feeling the sun and just being like carefree and thinking, oh, this is the life. Finally, I've got away on holiday, that kind of thing. And I stuck with that feeling for a good 2 weeks. I was doing it every single day. I was listening to the Boost Your Look subliminal every night when I was going to sleep and stuff like that. I had my crystals with me every day, my Moldavite, thinking, come on, change my life. I kept telling it, I want this cruise. I want this cruise. So anyway, they opened the phone lines. Johnny runs out of the car. We both ring, and they took my name and they told me that I was fourth in the queue. So obviously, I had the shakes. I had Emma Mumford messaging me. I had Fran messaging me at the same time. A few of my friends were messaging me. And I was like, go away, everyone. I just need to concentrate on this one thing. And I was sat there clutching my quartz, my Moldavite, my citrine, my jade. Oh, my God. It was so bloody stressful. So anyway, the first lady comes on. She was on line 1. I was on line 4. And as soon as she read the first couple of like words of this sentence, I was like, she's got it wrong. So anyway, she didn't get it. Second lady comes on. She pretty much read out the exact same thing as the first lady did. And I was like, oh my God, these people, they've just like shot themselves in a foot for the chance of this holiday to LA, this cruise. So then the third lady comes on and she literally said the interview paragraph word for word correctly. I was the fourth person in the queue, so obviously, as soon as they announced that she'd won, they just hung up on me because the competition was over. And I was so deflated. Honestly, like I had it in my head. This was me. I was going to be on this cruise, and yeah, I got the Beyonce blues, should I say. So I went to see Beyonce that afternoon, and when I got home, the next few days, I don't know if you remember saying on last week's podcast, the next few days, I just felt so down and I don't know what it was. I was really struggling to get my vibration up. Anyway, I just kept on listening to the Boost Your Luck subliminal and, the happiness subliminal to get myself back into it, and the health and wellness one. And I was just trying to pick myself up with positive vibration activities, going for walks, seeing friends, listening to happy playlists. And because I hadn't won the competition, I just totally released that want of being on that cruise and that meditation, that visualization of being on the cruise. So imagine my shock horror when last week I get a voice note from Francesca Amber from Law of Attraction Changed My Life. And she had been messaging previously asking, because she lives 3 hours away. She lives in Lincoln. I live in Newcastle. She has 3 children under the age of 5. It's very, very hard for Fran to travel to Newcastle for the day, for example, unless she was child free. So obviously it requires me going down to her or just catching up via Zoom, but it's a bit difficult, isn't it, when you're trying to arrange something and we're trying to basically go through all the finer details of our one-night show in London in September. And I was just hoping and praying that we could kind of meet up, and maybe, I don't know, I could stay over in Lincoln at her house or something like that, just something along those lines. So I started visualizing, staying over at Fran's house, getting so much work done, because last time when I went to her house about 3 weeks ago, we were so productive. We'd only just planned to go and meet up and discuss what we were going to talk about. We ended up launching the bloody ticket sales and everything. We got so much done that day. But now it's time to, think about what we want for the staging, the lighting, what we're going to discuss, who we're going to invite as our guest speakers kind of thing. Because we do want to hear from you lot, with your manifestation stories. I've got some amazing clients that have had some amazing manifestations come to fruition. I know Fran has as well. So we want to hear from people like that as well. So obviously the finer details, I started imagining myself going to France, staying overnight or something, and I don't know, going on a little adventure or something together so that we can promote the show, we can get some great content, that kind of thing. But because I hadn't won that competition, I just kind of released it. So I was no longer thinking about that cruise to LA. I just thought, oh well, never mind. So Fran sent me a voice note on WhatsApp, and I'm going to actually play it now because I want you to hear, I want you to basically hear what she said to me, and you can imagine the shock when I heard this message. Okay, here's the message.
Hiya, how are you? Quick question for you. I've been invited to go on a free Virgin Voyages cruise. Yes, it's not a gay cruise. It's just a regular cruise. And I can take a +1, but it's 5 days around the Med. We go to Ibiza, we go to Italy, we go to all these places. We just need to get a flight to Pisa, which is literally, I've looked, they're £19 the flights. And all food is included. There's a £350 bar tab as well that we can use. Obviously, the accommodation is all free. Everything is all free. And basically, I was going to invite my friend, but then I actually thought, do you know what? If we went, we could get a shitload of great, organic content. And actually, we'd have time just to actually talk about the event and mastermind and all this kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? We would have to share a cabin, which I don't know how you feel about. I don't know if you actually have to share a bed. I wouldn't have thought so. That would be weird. I don't think you have to share a bed, but I do think you have to share a cabin. I don't know how you feel about that. But I thought I would just offer it up. It's on the 21st of June. So we have to fly to Pisa on the 21st of June in Italy. And then we can meet them at the port. And then, we go to all these different ports. We spend a day sailing, and then we have days where we get off and we spend the whole day and night in Ibiza. And we could just do really cool shit. Anyway, let me know what you think. You might be like, nah, I'm busy. Or nah, I don't want to go. But let me know.
So that was the voice note that I received from Fran. Can you imagine how I felt? Obviously, I wanted to spend some time with Fran. I wanted to kind of, mastermind about our one-night show event. I wanted to go on holiday. I wanted to go on this cruise. How mad is that? And I truly think, because I spoke to my membership group about this in Manifest with Mart on Friday morning, because we were doing a 7 days of gratitude challenge. And as part of the 7 days of gratitude challenge, it got to Friday. Well, it got to Thursday, actually. And I'd wrote, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that come my way because of my second manifestation that I'll talk about in a sec. But I said, like, all the opportunities that come my way and things that happen. And I just felt, like, so grateful as I wrote that. And I read it back and I just, like, looked up to the sky and went, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the next day I got that. And it's just absolutely crazy because I truly think that that came to me because I'd released the resistance. So the only way I was seeing this cruise come to me was through winning that radio competition about Beyonce. Yeah, that was the only way I could see myself winning that competition. That was the only way I could see myself going on a cruise. And then for me to release that and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to win the competition anyway because it's been won, I'll let it go. But I'd still done all the visualization work. I'd still spoke to my crystals, asking them to support me in this journey. I'd still been doing my tapping to get rid of all my limiting beliefs that, yeah, I will get away on holiday and things, and I will be on that cruise. I still had those emotions of, like, lay on my bed with the sun beating down on me and pretending to, like, rub cream into my body and things like that, and hearing those seagulls and that chitter chatter and just getting out there and doing some fun shit. And because of all that, and because I released that resistance of, you know, it's not going to come to me through this radio competition, it came to me. And I honestly cannot believe, and I am so thankful to Fran. But what's weird as well is that after we'd got it all sorted and things, and we got it all booked. We booked our flights. I booked everything for Fran. She's a bit of a technophobe. So after I'd basically booked all that, I realised who this opportunity had come through by someone who'd messaged Fran. And it's actually one of my listeners as well. Shout out to Haley. And Haley basically said to me, oh my God, this is so weird that Fran has taken you, because you were literally next on my list. But they'd moved the deadline, basically. Like, Fran messaged me at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The deadline was at 4:30 that night. And it took Haley, like, a few hours to get everything together for Fran to, like, get her on this cruise and stuff. So I was actually next on the list. So even if Fran hadn't asked us, it would have happened for me anyway. And it's almost like it was destined for me to happen no matter which way it came to me, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm so grateful for Fran choosing me as a one-to-one. It makes perfect sense, like she said, that we get to go away together. We get some amazing organic content. But not only that, we're able to plan our one-night show and get everything set in stone, because it's 3.5 months away and we've only met up that once to basically launch it. So it is a bit of a weird one because we've got so much planned and so much that we want to do for that one night show. And this is going to give us such an amazing opportunity. So we're going to be working from Ibiza, Cannes, Italy, Barcelona. We're going to be working from all over that week. So you can imagine the content is going to be amazing. So yeah, thank you, universe. That is one of my manifestations. The second is that obviously with doing that speaking gig that I had in January through the Beauty Growth Academy, I spoke in front of a few hundred people and it was amazing. I loved it. I got so much out of it and it was so lush to meet everyone. And obviously that's what kind of inspired me to want to do this one night show. So I've been trying to manifest, more speaking gigs and like opportunities to get my brand out there, and obviously just to come and meet with you all and speak to people and get to hear other people's stories and, how crystals have helped shape their lives and manifestation and all that jazz. So I've been visualizing a lot lately while I've been using my Boost Your Luck Subliminal, like I say. And one of the meditations I did the other day, it was one of my own. It was about like the new you. It's available on my website. It's like £2 or £3. And I was basically doing it. And when I met the new future me in my meditation, this new me was so confident as a speaker. And it was almost like when I came out of the meditation at the end, I was thinking, right, I am going to manifest some good speaking, like little slots. Do you know what I mean? Just here and there. And I am going to basically go out there, meet the public, speak at like conferences, that kind of thing. And I could see myself on stage. I could feel the energy from the audience. I could see everyone giving me a round of applause, like after my speech. I could see like a little stall at the side where I'm like selling my shizzle and stuff like that. So anyway, last week I got an email from a listener who, big shout out to Matthew, by the way. He works at Stella McCartney in London. Stella McCartney, that's a huge name. Now, initially, I told my best friend, Nikki, and she was like, is that the lady with one leg? And I was like, no, that's Heather Mills. And then she went, oh, is that the lady that sells the vegan sausages? I was like, no, that's Linda McCartney. That's her mum. She's also been dead for years. But yeah, no one seemed to know who Stella McCartney was. And I was like, are you fucking joking? I was like, Stella McCartney is a big deal. Anyway, I've been invited to speak at Stella McCartney's Pride event. And the email that I got from Matt when he messaged me said that they were organising a Pride event on the 29th of June. And as part of the event, their committee had the idea of inviting a speaker who embodies bravery, boldness and tenacity in setting up their own business. And as part of the LGBTQ plus community, he said that they knew firsthand the hurdles we often face in, believing in ourselves and pursuing our dreams. And they wanted to inspire their community there through the stories of others. And obviously he'd been following Canny Crystals for some time. And he said that my journey as a queer business owner immediately came to mind during their discussions. They wanted me to go down. So they have booked me to speak. And I just can't believe this is in London. So it's on the 29th of June. And obviously I jumped at the opportunity. So it's a half an hour speaking slot. It's unpaid because it's for a charity, like a mental health charity, which is obviously really, really close to my heart. Anyway, I haven't worked in mental health for years, that kind of thing. But obviously I looked at trains and some of the trains were extortionate, as you can imagine, like Newcastle to London. Some of the trains were 350 quid. And I was like, can I justify this, or would I much rather just donate the 350 quid directly to the charity, that kind of thing? So I basically just went back to him and I was like, look, would you be willing to cover the travel costs so that at least it makes it worth my while kind of thing, and I can promote the charity as much as possible? And he came straight back and he was like, yeah, we've got these amazing train fares that we can book for you. We'll do that for you. We'll book it. So there's basically going to be a half an hour talk, a question and answer, and then they basically wanted me to take some products to showcase. And obviously I said, traveling to London on a train from Newcastle, that's quite hard with products. And I was thinking, how am I going to do this? What's the best way to do it? So I mentioned to him and I was like, look, I'm really sorry, but I won't be able to bring any products with me because I don't have a van. It would require obviously driving to London, which is about 5.5, 6 hours each way. And I was like, that's just not practical. I'm so sorry. And he was like, oh, well, we did think about this. So what we're planning to do is we're going to spend money in your store online, and then you can just post the products to us. And once the product's received at this end, we'll set out a stall so that you can talk people through crystals, that kind of thing. We'll have a wide range of products. But then what we'll also do is we will raffle off your products in aid of the charity, which is Mind Out. Can you believe that? So I'm not only helping a charity, I'm also raffling my products for charity, and they're buying the products from me to raffle for charity. And obviously I'll give a donation as well. But I can't believe that came to fruition, all from me meditating, thinking about my future self, and basically journaling on how confident I am since I've had these speaking roles and how confident I am speaking in front of people. This is in front of 150 people, but it is Stella McCartney. Oh my God, I'm just absolutely gagged. I don't understand how these manifestations have come to me, but I am so grateful. Like I say, we don't have to work out the how they're going to get to us or the why they've come to us. We just have to have faith and let go to the universe. And it's something that I speak about week in, week out. So when we release to the universe, that's us truly being satisfied and happy with either outcome basically coming out. So it's I thought that I was going to win this cruise. Yes, I was really down and disappointed when I didn't win the cruise through the Beyonce competition. But as soon as I let go of the how it was going to come to me or why it was going to come to me, then it came to me in another way, because I opened myself up to all the other opportunities and all the other ways that this could show up in my life. And because of that, I'm now going on a cruise. So basically, this is the thing. It is so weird, and I've got such a tight, jam-packed June and July. So I basically get back off the cruise on, I think it's the 26th of June. Then I go to Stella McCartney to speak on the 29th of June. Then just 4 days later, I'm down in Chesterfield for the Beauty Growth Academy's Release Your Inner Queen event, which Francesca Amber is talking at, but I'm going with my stall to sell crystals and things like that and talk to everyone there. And then the week after that, I'm at Happy Place Festival with Francesca Amber and Emma Mumford. And I'm like, oh my God, this is all happening. Like, there's so much happening. My life is so boring, honestly. Like, I know I kind of like talk about it on the podcast and stuff, and people are like, oh, your life's amazing. But I honestly think my life is so dull outside of my work. So this is amazing, all these opportunities. And I'm so, so thankful. So thank you, universe. Thank you, Fran, for inviting me on this cruise. Thank you, Matt, for inviting me to speak at Stella McCartney's LGBTQ event. And yeah, I'm going to have a bikini wax or something before I go on this holiday because, yeah, well, you know why. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's been a bit of a weird one because I haven't had a single thing to go off on script. I've literally just been staring at my... you should see how I'm lay here. I'm lay on my computer chair, but I've got it reclined right the way backwards with the microphone over the top of my mouth, just staring up at the ceiling because when I look back a little bit, I can see out my window and I can see the blue sky, and I'm just sad that I'm not outside sunbathing. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Next week, I've got an amazing guest on the show. So I've got Laura Hawkins on the show, and I basically was on Laura's podcast, Lift Yourself with Laura, and I was on that podcast about 2-3 weeks ago, I think, and we had an amazing chat, and she's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to, you know, divine feminine energy and all that jazz. So she is coming on the podcast next week. And then the week after that, I will be getting ready to go on my cruise, and no doubt something else will have manifested. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this podcast episode, please share it on your Instagram story, put it on your Facebook, you know, just share it around. Nobody shares them these days. I used to get so many people sharing that they were listening to me podcast, and I don't get that as much these days. I wonder why. Anyway, if you are listening to this, take a photo of yourself. If you're out on a walk, take a photo of, you know, your beautiful scenery or something like that, and tag me. Let me know where you're listening to this episode from. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Don't forget that you can leave a review. It's free for you to do so. The podcast is currently top 5 in the UK for spirituality, and number 1 in the Cayman Islands, can I just add? How weird is that? I didn't even know where it was. I had to Google it, and then I was like, oh, it's where all the tax avoiders go. Anyway, that's another story. But yeah, feel free to leave a review on whichever platform you're listening on, and I will see you all next Friday for another episode of Canny Crystals, the podcast. Thanks very much, guys. Bye. Come and join me in the Manifest with Mart community. For just £10 a month, you'll get exclusive access to my app, and you'll join all the other beautiful souls in the Canny community, where each day you'll be held accountable to making your dreams and desires come to fruition. You'll also be set daily and weekly challenges. There's a chat room built in so you can talk to people in real time, and you can also pop over any questions that you have in the Q&A forum, and I'll answer them for you. It's changing people's lives, and we've already had so many people manifesting things in the first 2 weeks alone. Each new moon, I'll also be going live within the group on a face-to-face video to help you get the most out of the lunar cycles, as well as answer any burning questions that you have. And these live meetups are so powerful, and everyone in the group has had nothing but praise for the safe space that we share. There are very limited spaces for this community, however, just to ensure that I can place my focus on you and nurture you into the ultimate manifester. So if you'd like a spot, please be quick and reserve your seat now. Head to cannycrystalsacademy.co.uk and choose the Manifest with Mart option, where you can get instant access, and what's more, you'll also get access to all of the past recordings and chats too. Join now and start living the life of your dreams.